We are taking a final look at Manor, Pennsylvania. This is called addenda because it is composed of things which didn't really fit into what I was doing previously. And there were things I didn't want to just neglect. I thought I'd make a little addition. The collecting this material for these little productions is an important thing. What I want to bring that up for is to just pass along to you that if you want your town to be remembered, it's a good idea to start collecting information on it, because some of these little places I get to, there's almost nothing there to talk about. And then other places like Manor, there were people there keeping track of things, and that's very helpful. So if you want your town to be recalled and remembered, start recalling, writing things down. Talk to the old people, get their stories. Publish a book, or do what I'm doing, make videos. This was really what was at Manor before there was ever a town there. Before the railroad came through, the Walthauer's farm and mill were the major features there. This was the Walthauer's farm and mill right here. And then the railroad came through. In the early 1850s, Pennsylvania Railroad built their line. This is the main line of the Pennsylvania Railroad that I'm pointing out in red. And that's really what started the town, which is what developed over here. And this line here is the branch line of the railroad that went up to Claridge. And that was built in the 1880s, probably about 1885. The blue line is Brush Creek. Incidentally, we might remember that the chief engineer of the Pennsylvania Railroad got his railroad into Pittsburgh by following Brush Creek. And that's why a lot of these towns along the railroad have, as an additional feature, Brush Creek going through. This is right along the main line of the railroad in Manor. And these little wagons down here tell us that this is probably the side where the railroad station was on. And this over here, the side over here, was, from what I can tell, this side over here. And what we're going to look at next will be up on the hill. The school was up there, the town's first school. Actually, this was not the town's first school. The first school was over by the Walthauer's place, and then the second one was up in this area. And then eventually a more substantial place was built up. Now at this point, this is contemporary. You see, an addition has been put on to what was once a school. It's no longer a school, and I see a for sale sign there. We see this as something that was down on Race Street, where Race Street intersects with Observatory Street. By the vintage of the vehicles out here, it looks very much like this is the 1920s. Another thing that we can observe is what I'm circling right here. This was a gas pump. In the earlier days, there weren't necessarily a lot of gas stations around, and people who had business, like a storefront kind of place, like J.W. Smeltzer had, they would also have a gas pump where you could stop in and fill up your tank. Things were a lot different. A lot of the old gas tanks were under the seat of your car, the front seat. And you would have to stop and get out and lift up the front seat and put in gas under that. But that was quite a while ago. We don't have to worry about that anymore. That's those two stores that I just showed you. This is Race Street. This is Observatory going up this way. Now this place here where 993 goes under the railroad recalls that once upon a time the main road through here used to go right over top of the railroad. There was a grade crossing that took Race Street over top. It was that way until 1926, when the railroad finally got around to redoing things. And it was a lot better because you didn't have so much danger of accidents. When you had those grade crossings, there were often unfortunate things happened. Now this is something that recalls another major feature of Manor. The first major feature was the railroad going through. That was responsible for the fact of the building of the town. And the other big issue was coal. This points out the fact that Manor was located in what's called the Irwin Basin of this coal deposition that had in it coal that was not just good for burning, it was good for making gas. Once upon a time they used to have lighting fixtures that burnt gas. They didn't have electricity yet. And so they burnt certain types of coal, and this was very useful because it could be shipped on the railroad to the East Coast where they were making a lot of this gas. They started making it in Greensburg in the late 1850s, that gas that could be used to make lighting. And over here was Penn. This was Manor right here. Over here, I don't see as yet Westmoreland City springing up. This mapping comes from 1883, and it shows various features associated with the this area of the Irwin Basin of coal. Now, 1938 aerial photo shows us Manor. This is Manor here. This is the main line of the Pennsylvania Railroad going through. Over here we can see Westmoreland City, and the big thing that helped Westmoreland City economically was the Biddle Mine, which was another operation of Westmoreland Coal Company. What you can see over here is the waste dump from the Biddle Mine. It's right there. And we'll take a look at it. This is what's left. That was what where the Biddle Mine was located. And it's a reminder for us that coal mining is not such a good idea when you think of environmental factors. We have a president now who wants to start to promote coal mining over more environmentally friendly things, and this is what it does. And this is Brush Creek going right through, getting polluted by the drainage from the mine. Anyhow, teacher, there are various lessons from history, things that should be learned. And this is the end of what I'm going to put together on Manor. And we'll see you again. So long for now. Bye.